Sorry guys, next time I will explain how combat works because well, we killed him. Boom boom. Don't worry, we'll get plenty of opportunities to show the combat system and sort of explain it a little bit better. Are you good? If not, let's get good. It's Wednesday night, and that means I'm playing Endless Space Vaulters. So in this episode, we are going to be focused on eliminating the... I don't know, is that Lavender? I think it's Lavender Sophons. We'll go with Lavender. But the name looks cyan. No, I think it's blue. I don't know. We're gonna kill him anyway, so it doesn't matter. So that probe is going that way, and we are working on a clan ship here. Okay, looks like everything's pretty much in order. Except our taxes. We were losing money. Let's go back to gaining money. And then I'll pass the turn. Sweet. Our clan ship is built. We're gonna pull that out and send it straight over here to Hydrus. And settle another system. So we're gonna grab this medium arid with Garden of Eden because it's the best food source in the system. Auriga. Yeah, no, we're gonna settle Auriga very soon. Nope. Yes. And yes. There we go. That's all nice and set up now. I'm gonna come in here and take a look at all of our systems. This is actually a really great menu to use when you're trying to manage multiple systems. You can come in here and change your production. You can come in here and view the hangars. You can see all their resources and stuff. I believe you can even do... Can you do worker assignment here? Oh, I'm thinking of Endless Legends, sorry. I play a lot of Endless stuff. Oh, and they're sending a Sophon unit back to our place. Come back, come back. Here we are settling everything like we want to be. Excellent. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and end the turn because that's everything we need to do right now. Ooh, look at Rookbot. Dust load, nice. There's not a lot of food here though. Bracia, we would be able to take a small tundra that has a little bit of food. And mainly I'm considering taking these just as a way to box this guy in. Let's go ahead and go this way. So we have built our first cheap thrill ship, which is our little beamer combat ship. Yeah, let's go ahead and end the turn because we just want our beamer army to finish, because once our beamer army is finished, we can go ahead and take it straight to his dome. And we have succeeded at colonizing a planet in Karana, which means we need to come in here and set up an exploitation. And we'll let the movement finish because we're sending him back to try to mess with this guy. Actually, if we get another cheap thrill next turn, we might move them both over there and kill this guy. Just because we can. Did we get another cheap thrill? We got another cheap thrill. Awesome. Okay. I'm gonna grab my 2 cheap thrill ships and send them over here. Oh, he's up there now. Darn it. Okay, we'll catch him next turn. Not super worried about it. And we already finished another cheap thrill ship, so maybe we won't worry too much about catching him until we get up to our 4 or 5. I think we had 4 in production, but we have a CP limit, which is a command point limit, how many ships you can have in a fleet, of 5. Yeah, so I'm going to build 1 more, and I'm actually just going to kind of let them run away for a minute while we finish this fleet. The other thing we're going to need before we can actually sort of declare war on them is we're going to need military artisanal complex, because that'll give us access to a siege module which will allow us to invade their planets. Unfortunately, that's like one of the last things we have set to learn. Pocket portal tech gives... yeah, that's not as good. Okay, let's see. I want these. I'm not super worried about that. Not super worried about that. Is this... yeah, I don't know. That's pretty good. Let's do this. We'll go that way, and then come back and get these. So what that does, by me pulling those off of our current queue, it lets me set them back in the queue only at the end. So now we're going to finish these two techs, and then we're going to grab this engine and the siege module, which will allow us to build siege ships with engines and siege modules and come after them faster. That's what we're going to need if we really want to take them out quick. And we have one ship that has not moved. You, sir, have not moved. That's okay. We don't want you to move. Actually, I'm going to send him down here. And the reason I'm going to do that is because once we have our cheap throw fleet out of here, we're going to use him to blockade the system. And that should allow us to, at the very least, fight them if they try to come in, I think. I don't think it actually prevents them from entering the system. I know that it prevents them from leaving the system, though, which is also not a bad thing. Oh, hero update. Let's see. We want Director 3, and the reason we want Director 3 is because we are beelining for this. Efficient schooling, plus 20% production on the star system that he's on, which is huge. Especially since he already gives plus 40%. That's why administrative heroes are really good in the beginning, is because they have food and production bonuses, which are both obviously very helpful early on. We have built another cheap thrill. There are cheap thrills all around. Okay, so we are building alien grafting on Corona 2. We also want to be building alien grafting on Corona 3, and we are currently colonizing Corona 4. Over here on Hydrus, we have just unlocked the ability to colonize this, so we're going to go ahead and grab it. And this has aurora waves as a planet anomaly, which is kind of great. I mean, we lose a little bit of science, but it's got a ton of science on that planet anyway. And the exchange rate is that we get happiness, which is like irreplaceable, and a little bit of extra dust, which never hurts. Speaking of dust, we are at 32 dust. We are currently losing 1 a turn. Now we are gaining 4 a turn. I really want to get up to our next hero, and I'm thinking that we're going to grab this guy. And the reason we're going to grab him is because he's a commander and a pilot. Both of those are fleet leadership classes. The pilot gets this little guy, Harvester, which gives us basically 50 additional dust every time we destroy an enemy. Excuse me. Basically gives us 50 additional dust every time we destroy an enemy. And the commander does not have one of those. Darn it, that's what I was thinking. Okay, so the pilot, and I believe it's called the adventurer, both have things that give you dust whenever you kill a ship, and if you can stack them on one sort of hero, it's ridiculous. Like, you can literally make more money by fighting other people and destroying their ships than you can by focusing on economy. Which I think is a great thing. I think that's really interesting that they created sort of alternate paths for you to make money and do things like that, because normally if you focus on economy, it just means you're kind of a weak little nothing civilization and you get sort of owned. Until you get to the point where you can, you know, buy out everything in 4Xs. That's really what it is. I think Endless Legend is a little bit like that too, but not so bad as something like a Civ where you're basically just a puny weak little thing until you find a way to buy out large armies and stuff like that. Let's merge these two, which will give us a full fleet of 5. Why won't it? Let me merge. Okay, you go into the hangar, and now we should be able to select both and merge. There we go. Alright, so we have a 5-ship cheap thrill fleet, and we are going straight into Mira if it will let us. I don't think it will. Oh, no, it won't let us because we would have to declare war to go in here because it's inside of their sphere of influence. So instead what we're going to do is send them straight up to Corona where they can destroy this guy, and then we're going to come over here and siege Rookbot. And the reason we're going to siege Rookbot is because even though Rookbot is settled, it is not an outpost yet. Or no, it is an outpost. It's not a colony yet. So it takes a certain number of turns for the outpost to become a colony. And Rookbot has a lot of turns left. If we come over here and we start sieging it, I believe that will prevent them from finishing the colonization process. So that's really what we want to do. Okay, so we're going to see our first little ship battle here. This is going to be sweet. Let's go with shields. Where's the one that ups beam damage? Beam damage, beam damage. Is it this one? I'll use that one. That's cool. And another barrier. So what I've done here is you get to pick one of these sort of action cards for each range, and it'll use those during that. It's hard to explain. You'll have to see it. We can come down and pick our formation. We can put different ships in the front and different ships in the back. I'm going to go ahead and just go with default formation, and we can change our targeting. Now, Nosebreaker would technically be the most effective thing because it's pretty much just focus fire on one ship. The problem with Nosebreaker is if you've got a lot of ships in a fleet and they're all firing at that one ship, and it dies to the first blast, then you just wasted all the other shots. So instead, we're going to go with Guillotine. And that should be good. I'm so looking forward to this. I love the cinematics of the combat in this game. They're really incredible. And we're going to turn off the HUD because we need more beautiful destruction. So this is our enemy, the Sophon. Actually, that's just like a little exploration ship that I feel really bad for. And this is our fleet of 5 combat ships that are about to massacre it. But the explosion will be beautiful. Oh, actually, I should turn the HUD on so I can explain how it works. If I can figure out how to turn the HUD on. Oh, I lost it. Okay. I guess we're going without a HUD. We'll just blow it up. Sorry guys, next time I will explain how combat works because well, we killed him. Boom boom. Don't worry, we'll get plenty of opportunities to show the combat system and sort of explain it a little bit better in the future, since we are trying to eliminate their entire culture. Well, not culture specifically, but you get what I mean. Alright. Good. Where are we at up here? Everything looks fine. Research should be set. Awesome. Let's end the turn. Now I'm watching our dust right now because once we hit 80 dust, we can get our next hero, which will be really nice. Let's see. Pardalis has things to build. Pardalis colonized the desert. And actually, before you colonize the desert, get alien grafting down. Another way you can go through your systems, I guess they're called, is by using the left and right arrow key when you're right here. So I can come in here and see, oh look, they have nothing built that's going on. And this is Karana. They are not yet a colony, they are just an outpost. So it doesn't benefit us to build any of these sort of extras right here. Actually, it obviously does benefit us to these. So one of the great things about Endless Space is that if your system is done producing everything you can beneficially produce, you can switch them over to Industry Science Conversion or Industry Dust Conversion, which essentially takes 33% of your production and turns it into either Dust or Science. So it's sort of like a Dust or Science accelerator. In this case, once alien grafting is done, we'll be building Industrial Dust Conversion. And the reason we're doing that is because we're trying to race to that 80 dust so we can buy our combat hero. Why do we have a ship here? Oh yeah, that's the probe. Okay. I'm going to pull the probe out and set him to blockade the system. As you can see, when you blockade the system, you get these nice little shields. These guys are already moving over there. Karana is set. That's set. Looks like everywhere is pretty good. Yeah, okay, everywhere's got stuff to build. That's the priority. And we are... yeah, no, we're staying right there. We can't give them any more happiness or we're going to lose money, and that's not going to happen because we're working towards our hero. Unless we get another hero before then, but I don't know. Yeah, it looks like 30 turns until we see another hero pop up. But we are really close to that 80 dust now. So we built everything in Pardalis except for this satellite. The reason we're building the satellite right here is because it will increase the range of this red circle. And if this red circle extends out to engulf Hydras, then we can start building other upgrades here and we will receive the full benefit of them, which is obviously very good. It sort of accelerates the rate at which you can build out these outposts. Alright, so our ships have landed in Bracia, and now we are going to Rukbat, where we will invade and blockade. Now, I'm going to show you guys, so see that 999 right there? That basically means we're never actually going to be able to invade Rukbat with spaceships, because that makes sense, they're spaceships. However, once we unlock And where are we at with that? We are 2 turns away from unlocking our siege kinetics. Once we unlock that, we can start building a fleet of fast, small siege ships that will come over here and siege this and actually take Rookbot over. And once Rookbot is gone, we will declare war and go after Mira, which should not take very long, to be honest. Alright, we are 2 turns out, so let's just go ahead and speed this up. I think what we're going to do is we're going to build the design for our siege ships and get them in the queue, and that's probably going to be it for this episode. Oh, they're sending out a defensive force. And yeah, bam, you can see how big that gets when we build the satellite. And because we built the satellite there, we can now build stuff like that and that out here, and it'll actually be beneficial. That's actually really good on Arid and Arctic for us, so we're going to take it. But now we can basically build out everything out here, except for the Cis-Ort satellite. The reason why we are not building that yet is because this doesn't have its own influence circle, so building that will not do anything yet. However, that is nice. We have that huge area, and now we need to build those ships. Okay. So for a siege ship, I'm going to keep it very, very simple. The only thing I care about is 1 engine to speed things up, and all the sieges. All the sieges is all that matters. What do we want to call this? Let's call this the ground pounder. Okay, so we have ground pounders and cheap thrills. This is beginning to sound a bit like an innuendo of some sort, isn't it? I'm going to build 5 of them. So that should put us out to 6. There we go. Okay. So now we have 5 ground pounders building right there. And we have combat. Let's go ahead and blow them up real quick, because I think that's actually a combat fleet. No, it's not. It's just a lone explorer again. Lol. We'll make this one quick. But I want to go ahead and jump into the combat so I can explain the system a little bit to those of you who are watching and have not played the game. Okay. This should be over fairly quickly, so it won't extend the episode too long. So down here we have combat phases, and as you can see the percentage of this goes up. We are in Phase 1, which is an arrival. In Phase 2 we will begin long-range engagement. Phase 3 is medium-range engagement. Phase 4 is short-range engagement, and Phase 5 is sort of just the ending sequence. So we've set guillotine, we have set... Oh god, I didn't mean to pick weapon overclock for everything, but hey, it looks like we're good. So we are shooting at each other in the long-range phase. The reason I like to use long-range beams is because of that. They essentially connect en masse very, very quickly. So do projectiles, but projectiles are slightly less accurate. I would go with missiles. I liked missiles a lot in the beginning, but the fact is missiles have a travel time, so if you bring missiles, they fire during the long-range phase, and they don't hit until the start of the medium-range phase, which means that if they're using lasers and projectiles and you're using missiles, they can literally kill your ships before your weapons impact. That is it for this episode of Endless Space. We have begun destroying the... Are we going to call them? We'll call them the Lavender Sophons, because that's a funny name. And next episode, we should be able to finish them off. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please leave something in the comments, and game responsibly.